Dynamic.
I see some of y'all ain't laughing. You kiss my ass. That's funny.
Fearless.
They talk to you at work. What are you gonna do for excitement today? I'm gonna drive past the police and try not to get my ass whooped.
Groundbreaking.
My sister on drugs. I ain't ashamed to tell you. Some of your family members too around here.
And their style, their success.
We had a togetherness that I ain't seen since. We went out there to make you laugh as hard as we could. And we supported each other in that because at the end of the day, the Kings of Comedy was the whole.
Completely changes what's possible for the next generation.
I'm a grown-ass man, dog. I ain't gonna call no another dude delicious.
Black comedy has many greats, but only for kings.
What we created spawned a whole generation.
Uncut, in your face.
That guy has got it.
First show I fell in love with.
Jefferson.
Sanford and Son movie star, that's rare.
Fresh new energy.
Multi-dimensional.
Unapologetic.
People want to see it.
Can't even talk about black comedy without
Step comedy, Eddie Murphy.
Kings of comedy.
Kevin Hart.
fundamental to the black culture. In the 90s, black stand-up was colorful and it felt very hip-hop.
It was, you don't get to tell us what to do.
Exactly.
You don't get to tell us how to be funny.
Right.
I couldn't give him no blowjob. My big ass lips, his little old dick. It wouldn't work.
90s comedians were special. Black comedy was, I think, it probably at its all-time high at that point in the 90s.
Definitely was.
I mean, we all gotta admit, the pinnacle of 90s comedy was the Kings of Comedy. All of them are major headliners. 3 of them, except for Bernie, were on major TV shows.
Steve, I just saw a rat. A big rat. A hood rat. Gold teeth, do-rag. I think he had a beeper.
So for them to come together and start selling out, theaters and stadiums and arenas.
I mean, it was a perfect combination, man.
Yeah.
It summed up what 90s comedy was. I don't think any other combination could have done that.
Cheers, man. Always great seeing you brothers, man.
Always,
man.
brother.
Feels good. A lot of people.
Wait
they don't think this is real.
I'm gonna get a drink.
Oh, man. Chris Spencer.
Steve,
For
thank
sure,
you.
man. Anytime.
Some of y'all said
up,
yes
brother?
and didn't even know what I was doing.
I sure didn't know.
Steve came and was like, all right,
That's a Chris Spencer move, man. That's the clout you got, though. Like, Chris, hey, man, meet me over here Wednesday. What we doing, Chris? I'll tell you when you get there.
If you're not late, I'll tell you.
Yep.
So funny, you always hear from some of our cohorts that, black people don't work together in Hollywood. I don't know what that is, because I've never called you, and I've never called you, and you guys didn't say yes, or give me a quick no.
Right.
So I appreciate that you guys are here tonight.
Yeah.
So I feel like we come from a generation where it's just different anyway. Like we definitely had to be in the clubs together.
We was from the era when it was a lot of lions out there.
lions.
I'm talking about everybody had a cold sex.
That's what had me in the white rooms for so long.
I always think about me and DL. We heard of each other, and then we saw each other in the airport in St. Louis.
Okay, what
And
year
it
was
like
this?
this was
Early 90s, late 80s?
Maybe late 80s, yeah, late 80s. Everybody flying Southwest, you know what I'm saying? Trying not to be in the backward seats when they had the backward seats on there.
Sure.
Steve was almost the same way for me. Like somebody else had mentioned him to me, and so we knew of each other.
Right.
B, at the time, he was just like a big brother and a comrade all at the same time. Like one of these people that, he did a lot of comedy in Chicago. And B was one of the top ones.
If Bernie was alive today doing what Bernie was doing, bro, how far could this go? This is the funniest dude I've ever been around in my life, man.
I know the first said that's a black mother that came out here. I know I'm a black mother. I know I'm black. I started to really shock y'all this evening, I started wearing all black and some blue contact lenses. I'd have f***ed y'all up.
I remember said he was a bad dude out of St. Louis. I met Steve because I'd heard about him. He's a bad dude out of Cleveland. And you would hear it was mythic. It was like hearing about Bigfoot, a unicorn.
They say yachting is America's #1 sport. You don't never see none of us yachting, do you? After that first big boat ride, we kind of lost that taste for sailing.
You were on a different level. Like Steve Harvey was, you were our Richard Pryor.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I heard about you because I used to open up for Jeff Foxworth So I knew about you in these mainstream rooms, destroying.
You ever just get tired of being poor? You ever just wake up sometime in the morning and just go, another poor day.
It was just a different level of comedy. And then I remember when you came to town, there was always this buzz. Cedric the Entertainer. I'm like, what's his real name? I'm like, nobody knows. And then to see you put the house in a frenzy.
Oh, you can't listen to the radio no more. You can't. I was riding around my daughter, 6-year-old daughter, out kicking it, you know, she just singing, you know. Freak in the morning, freak in the evening. Oh, hell no. Shit. Not my daughter. I'm coming up.
I remember the first time seeing you. It was the Bay Area Comedy Competition.
Right.
And I thought me, Sully, and Sean Wayans were the only black comedians in LA. And y'all was on the stage, and I looked at my little joke book and was like, I am not a comedian. I am not ready for what I'm looking at.
I didn't even know it was a recession. Black people didn't know, because we've been broke forever. Black people know how to get around being broke, huh? Because we'll put some shit on layaway, won't we? Won't we?
Black comedians keep comedy clubs and venues afloat now.
Absolutely.
But back then, we were nothing.
They do.
They didn't want us to do it.
They mistreated us.
Yep. At that time, they charged black people $30 to go, because they were trying to make it cost prohibitive. They didn't want them in there.
Right.
But they said if these niggas gonna be in here, they're gonna
pay.
Yeah, I remember playing at a joint in Charlotte, and they tried to make me sign a paper that said you can't joke about white people.
White folk never get cold. They'll go to a football game outside with just paint on. It's brisk. White people let their kids make decisions. Well, you can make decisions when you're older. Not no black kids.
Like it was like, and I said, nah, man, he said, well, we're not gonna let you play. I said, well, you better tell these 3 sold-out shows they gotta go.
Now the militia, these crazy motherfuckers, now, these are a bunch of white dudes who are mad at the government. Now, maybe they covered this in the 65 days I was absent from history class, but the government of this country was constructed for white men by white men.
We never worked with each other because in the white clubs, they didn't hire 2 black acts. Back together. And Ced got sent home because he was working with a black dude. That's how I met him.
At the white
like
club.
If there was a black headliner, there was gonna be a white middler and a white opener.
Yeah, you can't be there. And so I drove 10 hours to Dallas, expecting to get this money. I get down there to do the white club. There's another black headliner. It was one of these things, like, I'm stuck, man. I mean, I'm supposed to make, I got $150 or $120. I got to stay with a girl. I took her to Applebee's when that was new. That was big time.
The salads are cold, but the heaters are hot, and everything else is just too cool.
Don't judge
Nah,
me.
but it wasn't never.
Yeah, come on. Applebee's when it first came out, man, come on, man. That was big time.
Yeah, that was before the
Boy,
two
I
for
was
one.
somebody, you know, and she was like, let me stay with her for that. You know, I was like, oh, so that was
Gave me the riblets, I'm gonna give you.
Like, yeah, that was my move. But then I was supposed to make 300, and they canceled it all. So I go by Steve's club, and you know, just so happens that the headliner is bombing. And so Steve's like, man, you think you can go up and, you know, just do something with this crowd? I go up, I kill. He said, look, man, I can't promise you nothing, but come back. If this dude keep bombing, I'm gonna let you go on stage and I'm gonna figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And sure enough, I was working, so he kept throwing me up as this surprise at the end of the night, and then booked me. All of it felt like a crush. And then for somebody to see you and go, I see you. Like, you know, it was dope. So, but basically that was one of those things that we really became really tight friends from there.
I was the first one that was paying black acts. Because I wanted them to make money like I wanted to make money.
Right. Yeah.
So for you to come to my club and make $1,000 or $1,500 for the weekend, that's what I paid them. That was unheard of in '89. You don't get that kind of money, man.
You would have thought I was in a slave movie when he first, that boy offered me $1,000. I was like, Mr. Harvey, sir, I sure do thank you, sir. Lord have mercy. You knows what this gonna do for my family.
You put all you missed was that
$1,000. It was.
I remember you paid me. I went back and cried because I'd never seen that.
And a plane ticket and a hotel room.
It was such a different thing because I'd never seen. I was like, this is all mine. So it wasn't that many places that black people could work, but he had this club called Buku Ray's in Dallas.
Yes, South Dallas.
Yes.
Cliff.
And I remember I was on stage, and I remember you came in, And we did till like almost 6 o'clock in the morning. We were gonna stay till 6 o'clock in the morning, and nobody would leave.
I mean, really, that night, we didn't know it, but it was a prelude to what we were gonna do eventually.
Well, that's kind of like the beginning of the Kings.
The Kings is here. So if you're ready for the rest of the show to get started, everybody say yeah! The Kings of Comedy consists of 4 of the baddest ticket-sellingest brothers in the country today.
How can we classify these guys?
Everybody had their own style.
D.L. Hughley is one of the masters of the quick wit.
It's funny because white people lay out in the sun all day long to look like niggas, which is stupid. Don't they know if they get a real good tan, look too much like a nigga, they might get laid off?
Cedric is like your uncle at the barbecue.
It's so hot, I saw a Greyhound bus and the dog was on the inside. That's what I'm thinking.
Bernie Mac is that dude.
He was the comic that would say what other comics were afraid to say.
That plane to crash, excuse me, I gotta talk about it. That was some bullshit. White folks, y'all better learn how to fight. Got a butter knife, hijack a goddamn plane, that's bullshit.
Steve was just the perfect host. He brought it all together, man.
I'm just out here tripping. I'm trying to stretch the show out far as it'll go. I done drove around this raggedy town, trust me. We need to stay in here as long as we can.
I don't think he's hosting Family Feud if they didn't see Kings of Comedy.
If that's up there, I'ma shoot myself in the teeth on national TV, and I'm gonna send the tape to TMZ.
They were all A-list in the black community comics, so putting all 4 of those together was just an incredible sight to see.
I definitely want to go back to the actual beginnings of the Kings, the tour, how you guys went from theater to arenas and stadiums. What is that first year?
I remember like Walter, he did like a couple
Walter
of with just Steve and Bernie before the idea grew into a big idea. Like I think. Right. And then the real first Kings of Comedy was me, Steve, and Bernie with Guy as the MC. So he would do the night.
You just sit next to a white person, say welcome. This is hug a white person day today. Hug your local white person. My man with the dreadlocks, hug.
The guy know he was not a king, he was just the MC?
Yeah.
We reminded him of that all the time.
He definitely knew when the paychecks came out. He definitely realized, like, oh, okay.
Because I've seen a few interviews, it was like, in the beginning of the Kings, it was me, Steve.
Yeah. I mean, but he did his job, which was great. You know, like anybody knows, you doing an arena tour, you got 16,000 people out there, you go first. Right. Like, you got a job to do, and he did it.
And listen,
like,
he's very brilliant. We all know that.
Like, so he set it up great, and then the next year we had a DL, and then that's when it became.
And that's when it became
Kings.
really the Kings. Get all my shit done, I'm going to see the Kings. Not the Kings, the Kings. Well, goddamn it, Charlotte, I got news for you. The Kings is here.
We all had individual fame. It took a degree of self-downgrading, if you will, like to go with everybody, because we were all individually guys that were selling out 5,000 seats, 2,000 on our own. And that's enough. If you're a comedian, you like,
That's
I'm
fantastic.
killing it, bro. Like,
So see, man, we come from an era when we did comedy the way it was supposed to go. Our objective on stage was to make you laugh. Right. It wasn't to shock you. Mm-hmm. We went out there to make you laugh as hard as we could. It's like that big movie that came out, the Titanic. The band was playing as the ship went down. Cool and the gang would have been unplugged and shit. Man, let's get the out of here. And we supported each other in that because at the end of the day, the Kings of Comedy was the whole. Yeah. It wasn't the individual. Yeah. If the King tour did good, we did good. Man, we got bonuses some nights. Dog, we would go home and we'd be on the plane with the money. We'd be going, is this shit real, man? Mm-hmm. And then what happened was we went to DC and we sold out a Friday, Saturday at the MCI. And then Walter came to us Sunday night, Monday morning, gave us a call and said, hey man, what y'all doing next weekend? Right. We turned away too many people. I think we could sell out next Friday, next Saturday. Bro, these tickets ain't even been on sale.
How many seats?
It's 16,000.
So that's 16, that's
so
32,000
we sold out 32,000 gone Friday, Saturday in DC. Mm-hmm. Well, this light-skinned brother came to the show that worked for USA Today and said, hey man, how many newspaper articles y'all got out about y'all? And we looked at each other and went, nah, man, we never done it. He said, how many interviews have you done? No, we've never done an interview. They said, how long y'all been touring? We said, a couple years. He said, do you know you just sold out to him? I said, yeah. We done sold out every place we've ever been. He said, how? I said, we tell them on the radio, we coming.
Flavor for the new millennium, also getting ready for the 5 o'clock traffic jam. What? Man, No Limit in here along with the kings of comedy.
Dog, we had no other way of promoting it. We just do radio, and that was it. Wasn't no social media. And next thing you know, we were on the front cover of Life section in USA Today. And after that, as soon as you put them on, it was like Jay-Z, we wasn't selling out in 2 hours or nothing. But what difference does it make? If you can't get in, you can't get in, you know?
Right.
So we just sold out everything.
And that audience was predominantly black?
Predominantly, it was all niggas.
Yeah, at first.
So,
I'm saying that, and when did it start to slightly, was it after the article?
After the article.
You saw mainstream, you like,
after the article, you start seeing white people.
A lot of white people in the house, they got their seats all up front. How y'all doing? Nice and early. Y'all charge y'all shit, did you? White people can charge tickets. We got to wait. We got to wait on our check, get ours.
We were selling so many tickets.
Nobody had ever did a tour where you kind of got to see all of your favorites in one night, and then that thing became...
It was like Wu-Tang Clan.
It became a phenomenon. It just felt totally different.
I mean, they would laugh so much. Have you ever been standing next to a speaker and it hurts your ear?
Yes.
Like, it's something about the way it hurts your teeth, right? Like, I was like, this... And I told a joke that was so loud, I'm not closing my legs, like, I'll blow my head off on stage.
They didn't have to describe Jesus to me for me to know he's black. Jesus' first miracle was turning water into wine at a wedding. Now, if that ain't black folk shit, I don't know what is. Lord, we done ran out of wine. Well, y'all know normally I don't do this, but go ahead and keep the party going.
We didn't know how big it was gonna be, and it turned out to be a monster.
What you got for me, girl?
Let's try this on.
Now, you know it's important. It's a big show. The jokes are hot, the suit got to be hot.
Ding dong! What up, Quake?
What up, man?
I heard you was getting flied for the show.
This brother coming to you is the owner of the Uptown Comedy Corner in Atlanta, GA. My partner, y'all give it up for Earthquake.
I don't give a you laugh or not, nigga. This shit is funny.
What do we have on here?
Well, you know, got my name.
Custom.
Yes, it is. Custom.
Which is what brings me here to talk to you about the fashion of the brothers on the Kings of Comedy.
Oh, yeah. They was hot.
I think with Kings of Comedy, what made that special is these dudes were all suited and booted and ready to go. They were all looking their best.
Them guys had on custom suits. They got stylists. Like, oh, okay, this is how we do it. This is how you become a star doing stand-up comedy.
They were dressed to the nine, dressed to the T. They wanted to give the audience their money's worth, and the audience, by even looking at them, knew they were going to get their money's worth.
It was an event. It was something that you would get dressed up for.
Boy, y'all been at the barber shops and beauty salons? Girl, I'm going to see the Kings.
It was a luxurious night out. You know, drop some bread. You might take a limo.
Man, you know, as black people, we're not a monolithic society, and that's exactly what you saw in the King's audience. You saw doctors, you saw lawyers. My man Boogie was in the audience.
They told me backstage your name Boogie. All right, Boogie. You know, I said sit back down. No. Oh, the thug's coat. Oh, yeah, I got your coat, though. Yeah.
Anybody that enjoyed comedy was in the Kings of Comedy audience, and there's always going to be something that's going to be memorable for the rest of our lives.
Were people dressing up like that before, or did the Kings of Comedy kind of take it to another level?
Few people were.
Right.
About one or two.
Right.
But
maybe Hamburger?
Well, Hamburger had the cowboy hat. He was running from the white people in Texas.
Let me hear everybody here say hamburger. No, you say what Phil say, hamburger.
But they changed the whole dynamic of it all. You know what I mean? They made it that everybody had to get a suit, because success brings duplication.
Right. Now, were you wearing suits then?
No. I was sagging jeans, looked like I sold dope.
Right.
Baggy jeans,
Right,
you know,
those
that
are
type of thing. I started in Atlanta.
The Uptown, yes.
The Uptown, my own club.
But white people, if you're gonna blame some shit on these young brothers, do your homework. Blame some shit on them that they would do. Just like that white lady talking about she got carjacked and a brother took her kids. I was like, a brother taking kids?
Would the Kings come through there?
Yes, they came through. Bernie wore suits, DL did. Steve came out the womb with a suit on. You know?
Yeah, Steve had 12-button double-breasted suits.
Oh, the long one.
Right.
The ruffles.
And then Cedric.
And Cedric, too.
Right, would also accompany it with a dope-ass hat. Who had more of kind of your style, or who did you emulate?
Well, Steve made you wear a suit to work in his club. He bought me a suit.
Wait, you're talking about you came in the headline, you couldn't wear what you wanted?
No. Steve would tell you, get on my stage, you need to dress.
Tie?
Tie and everything. Because Steve, I don't like nothing around my neck. I'm black. You know what I mean? He let me get away with that. No tie. All of them contributed to my career.
Right.
You know, Steve was the first one gave me confidence that I can actually do this.
He's the reason why I'm the comedian I am, and the reason why I have my own radio show, Mr. Steve Harvey.
Yeah, one and only, man. Said put me on his show, The Neighborhood.
Did you just shush me? Calvin, let the man talk.
Hold on, did you just shush me? Bernie gave me the best advice.
What was that?
Don't be afraid to fail. Be yourself.
Exactly.
And Bernie pulled me to the side, told me that, and God rest his soul, thank you.
Did you ever see them live? All four of them together as the Kings?
No. I never went to none of the shows. I was always working. Right. And usually you hated when they came in town because you was there. That's when you sit down and say, well, there's gonna be only 50 people at my show.
Right.
Let me go on and bust up some liquor and have a good time. You'd be upset because when they came through there, they was the show.
Right.
It was like Michael Jackson of comedy.
Right.
It was nothing. Nobody want to go see nobody else. The Kings in town. Why are you here?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I got mad at my agent and the club. You knew they was coming. You know what I mean? Why would you do this to me? It's 52 other weeks, ones or whatever. You could pick me another week. You're going to put me up here with that type of situation.
Earthquake, thank you. You know how I feel about you.
You know I love you,
You're
man.
a mentor, a brother.
Thank you.
And I'm glad you're going to let me take one of these because I don't have
man,
a
come on.
straight foot
See,
like this.
LA dudes always stealing.
So I'm so glad you met me here at Miss B's M&M.
I am too.
Your dad is Bernie Mac.
Yes, he is.
I'm hungry for stories.
Well, let's get into it.
The thing about Kings of Comedy that was crazy to me, it was my introduction to black stardom. Eddie Murphy kind of belonged to everybody. Chris Rock kind of belonged to everybody.
Right.
But Kings of Comedy was ours. That was ours. And you could sell
Unapologetically
out
ours.
arenas with just us.
Right.
I had never seen that before.
It would be sprinkles of other cultures, but they usually were married to somebody black.
Yeah. Like,
They were up. Because if you went to that black-ass show, you weren't just some innocent bystander going, hey,
No.
you know, I have tickets to the Hollywood Bowl. I guess I'll go see these Kings of Comedy. No. You knew of the culture. You knew Steve Harvey. You knew Cedric. You knew DL. You knew Bernie Mac.
Bernie was the underground black comedy king. I never got to meet him, but I did watch him on Oprah. And he talked about not worrying about the money because it comes if you do what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
I think if you focus on being the best within yourself, all that stuff will come. I hear people say, get your money on, get your money on. I hate that. If you do well, the money will come.
Exactly.
That stuck with me.
And he told me that too. I was an extra on his show. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna make my way over there and talk to him about comedy. And I was like, I'm in this GL Metro. I'm just trying to figure out how I can get paid more than $15 a show. He said, be funny. Be funny, period.
That's it.
That's the only way you're gonna get paid more. And I was like, yeah, cause I'm ready. I'm ready, she ready. He was like, I don't know if you're getting only $15 a show. You're not ready. Bernie Mac. So his big break was what?
I don't know if I can say that there was like a big break. To me, it was like all of these stair-step moments. He does the first season of Def Jam in the yellow sweater, you know, stir it like coffee.
Man, when I first got married, my wife used to give me pussy by the pound. Now I got to steal pussy. If you don't know how to steal pussy, I'm fixing to teach you. But when you get it in, stir it like coffee. Stir it like mother coffee.
Season 2, he does the, I ain't scared of you.
You don't understand. I ain't scared of you, mother.
And that just, from there, it was like, now he's getting called to audition for these movies and he's getting, you know, these roles.
Look, she bending over. Lord have mercy. The Lord is my shepherd. He know what I want. Excuse me, brother. Miss Parker! Miss Parker!
In between, they're doing the Kings of Comedy tour, and each moment it was just something bigger that would happen that it was just like...
That blows it up even more.
Yeah.
Did you get to go with him to like the movie sets and go on the road with him to do comedy?
Some of them I did. When he does Def Jam, the first time, I'm in the 7th grade.
Yeah, I'm like...
Yeah, so I'm in school.
You're not even allowed to watch it.
No. Actually, yes, I could.
You could?
Man, so listen, this is how weird he was. I got in trouble listening to Public Enemy's Fear of a Black Planet tape. He took it from me, and his logic was because it was too much cussing in it. And he looks at me and goes, how the you listening to all this goddamn cussing? Like, I'm thinking it's a joke. I'm doing like you can't be serious. Like, you know who you are, right?
Ain't nobody with you. Ain't nobody with you.
You cuss all the time. No, the I don't. I wish you, how you gonna tell that bullshit ass lie on me? I'm like, is he serious? He was dead serious. Couldn't watch that, but I could watch all of his stand-up routine.
But did he do jokes about you in particular?
He did.
My daughter getting married, man, and women, y'all love marriage. What's up with marriage? Be happy than a mother on somebody else's expense.
Did that make you feel some type of way?
Not when I was younger. When I was younger, I enjoyed it. It was like, oh, look, my daddy's on stage, so yay, go daddy. And then as I got older and the jokes got more personal, I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Sorry.
My daughter and boyfriend had a fight. I told the motherfucker, you know, I don't get nobody business, right? I came home, my wife said they was arguing downstairs. I was like, arguing? She said, I think he hit her. Y'all can fuss and fight, don't hit my mother daughter. Son of a bitch, you. I'll kill you, man.
Okay, so this is what I gotta ask about the King's Comedy. When he was talking about him upstairs.
I'm going upstairs, he coming down, he gonna walk past me like I'm a visitor.
Those kids, is those real people?
No.
They are made up people. Oh, that's so funny.
I told him, I said, man, it's too goddamn late for some damn cookies and milk, man. Take your punk ass upstairs.
One more thing. What is Bernie Mac's legacy?
You looking at her.
Hello.
Me and my baby. For him, family was everything. And so his last couple of projects, and I remember distinctly, he did Madagascar 2 and Soul Man. And everybody on set can tell you, he was like, this for my grandbaby. His health was failing for years before he finally got sick. So those last 4 years of his life, he was on oxygen. It had gotten so bad that his doctor was like, we don't have to do it now, but we're gonna have to consider a lung transplant because the sarcoidosis had ravaged his lungs so badly that he really was operating with the capacity of one lung.
Wow.
I feel really grateful for my dad. I truly feel like he is one of those human beings that had the opportunity to do exactly what he was purposed to do. And for him, comedy was life. He fully believed that laughter was healing. And so for him, I think he would be really humbled and proud to know that all these years later, people are still laughing at him.
What made this man so special?
I just remember meeting him. I was going to do Def Comedy Jam in New York, and we went out in New York. We went to lunch to talk, and I say that like it was a really dope place, but it was Sbarro's. And so, but I always say like he took me to lunch, and it sounds like we were at, you know.
Yeah, but back then,
like
that was
Cipriani's.
that was a big deal.
Cipriani's? No, it was Sbarro's, and we grabbed a slice. But he was just explaining to me like not to be scared of New York, which is in your mind.
Yes.
The first time you go to New York, it's just a place that intimidates you as another comedian.
Thank you, goddammit.
It was one of these things where he had that kind of energy. He was like, yo, grab you, hey man, blah, 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 give you the game. And then he was always himself. He had them sayings, I walk alone. I'm on the 50-yard line, but it's first and goal. You'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Somehow that makes sense.
Quit believing everything you goddamn hear. Shit. Believe in yourself. I don't believe shit until shit happens.
Bernie would go on stage and we'd all pull up a chair backstage where the monitors were to watch Bernie, because we used to call it, let's go see the train wreck.
Yeah.
Because Bernie never did the same set twice. He was gonna do something, like he would do stuff like, he would make the ministers stand up.
Yeah.
All the ministers in the crowd, and they'd stand up, and then he go, turn to your neighbor, tell him you love him, the whole hands, repeat after me. And we don't wanna hear this shit. Stop making us do this. And I'm going like, whoa. And he be going, Bernie, they're pastors. And Bernie didn't care, man. We would sit there and go.
Yeah.
And he would have the rest of the kings with their mouth hanging open backstage.
He's small, but he stuttered real bad. He kind of slow. He stuttered real, we want no...
Yeah, have you ever seen somebody who has a lazy eye and you pretend like they don't, so you line up to their vision? You're like trying to...
Right.
That's what Bernie was. He made the world line up to the way he saw things.
Yeah.
And I had never seen anything like it.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you a secret about the Kings. The audience would get a hell of a show, but I knew back in the dressing room,
We're gonna have some fun.
I was dealing with some minds, man, that was so twisted.
Give me the definition of what that means.
DL would go out there first, then Ced would go out. Then there was a little intermission, and Ced's team would go out in the lobby and pass out backstage passes. So after the show was over and I come off stage, I would open the door to the dressing room. It was a lounge. Ced had it was a tavern. It was a full-blown tavern. It was just, and there were just in there 30 of them with free backstage passes. We didn't have to go anywhere because Ced had taken care of that.
As the show's going on, and I'm preparing, getting into my zone, trying to do things, I go through a lot of different things.
See, on the spectrum of, like, Bernie did the least.
Yeah.
Then it was me.
Yeah.
The least? And then it was them two.
Yeah.
Them two was a whole separate mechanism.
Who's the worst?
Them two was the version.
Between the two of you, who was the worst?
No.
At that time, this is the time before I was a
I
Christian.
can hand it. Look at me. I'm telling you right now. I would actually be shamed.
Yeah.
This is the time.
I would actually open the dressing room door and go, oh, I'm sorry. My bad. But it was so corrupted. See, the beauty of the tour was there was no phone cameras, there was no social media.
No.
That was some party.
Oh my God.
After the show. You had your pick of what you wanted to do.
Right.
And then DL would come over and then we exchanged cigars all the time. We smoked cigars. We were smoking so many cigars, they was fining them.
Yeah.
3-card maximum draw. Don't get silly. The fine had gotten so big, we would send the fine in before we came to town and just pay the fine off. Because we smoked cigars every weekend.
It's on me?
It's on you. Come on with that pal.
I ain't got none.
But what was going on in Bernie's room?
Bernie drank beer and
Miller
Genuine Draft,
and smoked cigars.
And he walk alone.
Yeah.
As soon as we had to go to after party every night.
Right.
As soon as the Crown Royal people came in and Bernie saw him, Bernie was gone.
Yep, it was a whole different thing.
Bernie didn't do none of this, man.
No.
Bernie didn't do none of that.
I didn't either.
You'll catch him back at the bar. He'd be at the bar at the hotel.
Yeah. Bernie was a special dude, man. So when I hear stuff about us and I hear stuff about the dissension.
I've heard you kind of allude to what happened between him and Steve.
All I can say is what Bernie told me. And he was upset with Steve because he said Steve tried to get him taken off for the Oceans movie he
Ocean's
did.
11?
Yeah, and tried to vie for his part after he already got hired.
Steve had differences with him when they went on
Steve
the
was scared of him. I don't really know what they talking about. Because the thing about Bernie was a man's man. So when somebody say, you know, they treated Bernie like shit, that was impossible.
Right.
Bruh, that was impossible. This dude right here was Chicago South Side to his core and blood. You mistreat this dude right here, you know the problem you're gonna have? Bruh, that was an impossibility. This was a man's
And he liked you. He liked everybody. He just did his own thing.
People really don't believe me and Steve friends. So people think that it's fair. I'm like, no, dog. I said, I literally just talked to him. But and then, of course, they see me and DL together quite a bit, you know. But it is that kind of thing, that yokeness that happens that people would love for it to be false.
Right.
These two dudes right here matter to me in a way where, like, you know, like he say, like if we going through something, we'll call each other because we feel for each other, because we know the real person.
No one has meant more to me in my entertainment career than this man right here.
I know they lying about you online. I know that podcast is bullshit. Hanging that dog, don't pay no attention to that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and look, man, regardless of what anybody has ever said, after Bernie passed, there was no discussion of replacing Bernie.
Right.
There was never discussion of anybody except us. We were the only kings ever. I don't even know where that came from.
Yeah, people would say that. People would always ask you, who you think? But you know, like for us, it was definitely a different space in our time and our life, and you know, that kind of unity. It's like you can't.
You haven't seen black like unity like that since the Negro Leagues. Like that African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
We was on tour for like 2 years. It was like Rolling Stones, Janet Jackson, Kings of Comedy. Like right now it would be the equivalent of when Beyonce them out, right? And how the world goes crazy over their tours. That, you know, like just the tour itself.
And then one year it was just Rolling Stones and the Kings.
So you guys are doing arenas, selling out all over the world, and you guys decide to do a movie that you call Spike Lee.
Over 1 million screaming fans, 113 electrifying minutes, and the 4 kings, the original Kings of Comedy.
I think the Kings of Comedy, in terms of where does it fit within the whole diaspora of black comedy, is in the top 5 most miraculous things that's probably happened for minimum stand-up. And then definitely a stand-up movie.
Yeah.
You know, I saw it when it came out, and it was like, yo, this is something special. So to see these 4 icons, because I knew of them because
you worked with them.
I'm almost the same age as them.
Almost.
They got me by about 20 years.
It was such a big deal. And even to this day, if you're talking about comedy and you're in the room with somebody who was in the building that day, they can't wait to tell you they were there. There was no real opener. Everybody walked out to a standing ovation. Everybody walked out to a standing out. That, man.
And left with one.
Yeah, and left with one. Right. I don't even think we can duplicate it.
We had the opportunity to do the movie, and then the idea came up to who could direct, and we wanted the movie to have more significance. So
why him though?
Spike Lee.
Our next guest is a talented filmmaker. Here he is, Spike Lee.
Will you welcome, please, Spike Lee? One of the most well-known and outspoken filmmakers of our time.
He had never done like a comedy concert like
but
this before.
he was cultured. He was doing the Michael Jordan commercials.
Right. Yo, this is Morris Blackman, and this is my main man, Michael Jordan. And this is a pair of Air Jordans from Nike.
He did his movies.
You know what the that means?
Yeah, it means pay me my mother money. That's what it means.
He was that director, like that he came to see the show, loved the show, and then we had to make the deal. He was, he cut into the money, so it was a thing. It was a thing to bring Spike Lee on, but we knew that it was a smart thing to do.
Yeah, these are my homeboys. I'm proud of them, and I'm here tonight to support this project, and I'm wishing them most success.
The only thing that I'm sad about our experiences, I never felt like we finished.
Yeah, man.
I felt like we left too much on the table.
Yeah.
And I felt like
In terms of doing more TV,
not
film,
just
in general.
everything that could have happened. I don't think we maximized it.
Because, you know, it shot Bernie to the moon.
Right.
You know, the King shot Bernie to the moon. And Bernie became, like, really hot. Right. You know, we had TV shows before, but Bernie got TV shows, movie office. And we lost a lot, man, because they came to us to redo a Blazing Saddle version for the Kings. They wanted us to do the Kings going to Vegas.
Oh, well.
Man, it was so many movies came to us, but then scheduling, man, we couldn't put it together.
Is that how it ended?
It more petered away than ended. Like it was it was so, it just,
It was not like there's no big one traumatic event.
No, it's like
ticket sales are still at an all-time.
It was always many different events that that kind of like because it was always opportunity where we tried, right?
It's the what ifs. Like if we would have finished, it would have had a seismic effect on the culture and comics and venues. It seemed incomplete.
Let me tell you something, man. We had a togetherness that I ain't seen since.
Yep.
Because we was committed to making this money.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And we was committed to each other looking good.
Yep.
Like we all had jokes with the same premise.
Right.
Mm-hmm. People kill me with this joke stealing stuff. Though these premises, there are no new premises. Right. So we would hear each other set. We might go, hey man, you doing that tonight? Cause I'm gonna do mine. All right, go ahead. Right. I'm gonna skip. You do yours tomorrow night. I'll do this one tonight.
A black president? Come on, y'all. Now, we got Clinton that's close.
Bill Clinton was my favorite president. That's my goddamn president. He the closest to a black president we gonna ever get.
I'm gonna do a joke about parking lots. You do your parking lot joke tomorrow. And we work like that.
Camaraderie.
And that was, bro.
It was not camaraderie, it's love.
Would you think you would be where you are today without the Kings of Comedy?
No.
No, impossible. It was so epic. And man, I look at the landscape of comedy today. I see the footprint that we had in this thing, man. And it's undeniable. I mean, really, it's really not. Everybody after that owes a debt of gratitude to the Kings.
Absolutely.
Because, bruh, what we created with the Kings spawned a whole generation of comedy. And people don't understand this. See, these cats are selling out arenas now, more power to them. Like Kevin Hart is a real giant.
Yeah.
And I appreciate Kevin Hart when he come on interviews, because Kevin say, hey man, the Kings gave me the inspiration. The Kings gave me the forethought. The Kings, but we laid it out there like it had never done before.
The fact that we all still have relevancy, we still are in this business, loving what we do. You wake up every day excited to do it, and that we all still do it at these very high levels as individuals and collectively. Like coming here to hang out is a very special thing because we all wanted to do it mainly to see each other, right? Yeah. Like
and to get free drinks. That's all.
But I mean, it's like seeing New Edition, if you will, right? It's a thing to see them individually and know that everybody got their own kind of recognition, but when you see them all together, that's also a very special thing. And that's what's unique about the Kings.